You know the moment. Someone asks you a simple question in English. You understand it perfectly. The answer is clear in your head. And then, nothing. Your mind goes blank. Your chest tightens. Your mouth feels heavy. The words disappear as if someone suddenly switched off your English. Later, when the moment is gone, the sentences come back. Perfect sentences. Clear sentences. Sentences you could have said. And you ask yourself the same question every time. Why does this keep happening to me? This freezing feeling isn't about intelligence. It isn't about vocabulary. And it definitely isn't because you're bad at English. In fact, the real reason might surprise you. Let me tell you a story. A man once learned English for almost 10 years. Grammar books, vocabulary lists, online courses. He could read articles, understand movies, even correct other people's mistakes. But when it came time to speak, his voice disappeared. In meetings, his heart raced. In casual conversations, he smiled and nodded instead of speaking. On phone calls, his hands shook. One day, he said something that revealed the truth. When I speak English, it feels like my brain is under attack. And that sentence explains everything. Because freezing is not a language problem. It's a survival response. When you try to speak English, your brain doesn't think, "Oh, this is practice." It thinks, "This is danger." Your brain is designed to protect you from embarrassment, judgment, and failure. So when you speak English, especially in front of others, it activates the same system it uses for real threats. Heart rate increases. Breathing becomes shallow. Muscles tighten. And the thinking part of your brain shuts down. That's why your English disappears. Not because you don't know it, but because your brain won't let you access it. Broadcasters understand this better than anyone. They don't sound fluent because they know more English. They sound fluent because they've trained their nervous system to stay calm while speaking. Let's slow this down. When you freeze, 3 things usually happen at the same time. First, you start monitoring yourself. You think about grammar. You think about accent. You think about mistakes. You think about how you sound. The moment you start watching yourself speak, fluency collapses. Second, you try to translate. You look for the perfect sentence. You search for the correct word. That delay creates silence, and silence creates panic. Third, you feel social pressure. Someone is waiting. Time feels loud. Your brain screams, "Say something now." That combination is lethal for fluency. Broadcasters avoid this trap completely. Here's what they do differently. They don't aim to speak correctly. They aim to speak continuously. Flow comes before accuracy. When broadcasters speak, they trust that the sentence will finish itself. They don't stop to check grammar mid-sentence. They don't search for perfect words. They keep moving. And movement is what calms the brain. So how do you stop freezing? You don't fight the fear. You retrain your response to it. The first step is understanding this. Fluency lives in momentum, not perfection. Freezing happens when you stop. So the solution is learning how to never fully stop, even when your English isn't perfect. Let's go back to the man from earlier. Instead of trying to speak better English, he did something strange. He practiced speaking bad English, without stopping. Every day he spoke for 2 minutes straight. No pauses. No corrections. No restarting sentences. If he forgot a word, he described it. If he made a mistake, he continued anyway. At first, it felt uncomfortable, messy, embarrassing. But something changed. His body stopped panicking. His breathing slowed. His brain stopped shutting down. Because his nervous system learned something new. Speaking English does not equal danger. This is exactly how broadcasters train. They don't eliminate fear. They speak through it. Here's another secret. Freezing often happens because you treat speaking English like a performance, a test, a judgment. Broadcasters treat it like a process. They focus on delivering meaning, not producing perfect sentences. Try this. Next time you speak English, don't aim to sound fluent. Aim to be understood. Lower the standard. Say shorter sentences. Use simpler words. Slow down. Your brain relaxes when the goal is clarity, not perfection. Another powerful technique is preloading language. Broadcasters rarely walk into situations unprepared. They already have phrases ready. Not full sentences. Chunks. Things like, "What I mean is." The main point is. Let me explain this simply. These phrases act like bridges. When your brain freezes, the bridge carries you forward. You can do the same. Before conversations, prepare 5 to 10 flexible phrases you can use anywhere. Practice them until they're automatic. When freezing starts, your mouth already knows where to go. Now let's talk about breathing. When fear hits, breathing becomes shallow. That sends a signal to your brain: danger. Broadcasters control this instinctively. Before speaking, they breathe out, not in. A long, slow exhale tells your nervous system, it's safe. Try this before you speak English. Exhale slowly. Then start talking while breathing normally. You'll feel the difference immediately. Another reason you freeze is because you listen to yourself too much. You judge every word as it leaves your mouth. Broadcasters don't do that. They listen forward, not backward. They focus on where the sentence is going, not what they just said. Train this by speaking while focusing on the next idea, not the last sentence. Your brain stays in motion. And motion kills fear. Here's something most learners never hear. Fluency does not come from confidence. Confidence comes from fluency in motion. You don't wait to feel confident before speaking. You speak until confidence shows up. Broadcasters didn't start confident. They trained until confidence became automatic. If freezing has controlled you for years, this is important to hear. Nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is doing its job too well. Now you need to teach it a new job. Speak badly but keep going. Lower your standards. Protect momentum. Breathe out. Use prepared chunks. And most importantly, forgive mistakes instantly. The moment you stop punishing yourself, fluency accelerates. One day you'll notice something strange. Someone will ask you a question in English, and you'll answer, without thinking. No freeze. No panic. Just words flowing. That's not talent. That's training. And once your brain learns this pattern, English stops being scary. It becomes normal. And when that moment comes, you may not even notice it at first. You'll answer a question in English, simply, naturally. And only later will you realize something important happened. You didn't freeze. You didn't panic. You didn't disappear. You stayed. That's when you understand the truth. Fluency was never missing. It was waiting for permission. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to keep going. Permission to sound human. This channel exists for that reason. Not to teach you perfect English, but to help you feel safe while using the English you already have. So if you've ever frozen, if you've ever stayed silent even when you had something to say, if you've ever felt like your real voice was trapped behind fear, you're not alone here. And you don't need to change who you are to speak English well. You just need to stay in motion. Keep speaking. Keep breathing. Keep going. Because the more you speak through the fear, the quieter the fear becomes. And one day, without warning, English will stop feeling like a test and start feeling like a voice that belongs to you.